If you were a Filipino gamer in the mid-2000s, chances are you've heard these words before. EB tayo sa school grounds. Not in real life, in Ran Online. Long before Battle Royales, MOBAs and gacha games dominated the local gaming scene, there was one MMORPG that turned ordinary school campuses into war zones, transformed internet cafes into social hubs, and created memories that many Filipino gamers still cherish to this day. This is the story of Ran Online in the Philippines, a game that wasn't just popular, it was a phenomenon. Back in the early 2000s, online gaming in the Philippines was exploding. Titles like Ragnarok Online, RF Online, and MU Online were drawing massive crowds. But in 2006, something different arrived. That game was Ran Online. Developed in South Korea, Ran Online stood out immediately because of its unique setting. Instead of medieval kingdoms, fantasy castles, or futuristic planets, players found themselves enrolled in rival schools. The concept sounded simple. You chose a campus, attended classes, fought monsters, and battled students from rival academies. But somehow, the school setting resonated perfectly with Filipino players. After all, who wouldn't want to turn school into an action-packed MMORPG? One of the most memorable parts of Ran Online was choosing your school. There was Mystic Peak, Sacred Gate, and Phoenix. The moment you picked a campus, you weren't just selecting a starting area. You were choosing a faction, your identity, your family. Players became fiercely loyal to their schools. Arguments over which campus was the strongest happened everywhere, from internet cafes to online forums. You'd hear players proudly saying they represented Mystic Peak or Sacred Gate as if they were talking about real-life universities. School pride wasn't just a game mechanic, it became part of the culture. To truly understand Ran Online's popularity in the Philippines, you have to remember the era it thrived in. This was the golden age of computer shops. Not everyone had fast internet at home. Instead, players gathered in internet cafes after school, on weekends, and during holidays. Rows of CRT monitors, the sound of keyboards clicking non-stop, friends yelling across the room, and somewhere in the middle of it all, a group of students grinding levels in Ran Online. Entire barcadas would spend hours farming items together. Some players even skipped lunch money to just afford extra computer shop time. For many Filipinos, Ran Online wasn't simply a game, it was a social experience. A place where friendships were formed and memories were created. Modern MMORPGs often make leveling quick and convenient. Ran Online was different. Leveling was commitment. Every level felt earned. Players spent countless hours grinding monsters, completing quests, and searching for the best farming spots. Reaching higher levels wasn't something everyone could do overnight. It required patience, dedication, and a lot of snacks during long gaming sessions. When you finally unlocked stronger skills or equipped a powerful new weapon, the feeling was incredibly rewarding. Those achievements carried weight because everyone knew how much effort was required. Of course, what many players remember most wasn't the grinding, it was the PvP. Ran Online thrived on competition. School wars became legendary. Massive battles would erupt between rival campuses. Dozens upon dozens of players would clash in chaotic fights where strategy, teamwork, and character builds all mattered. The screen would be filled with skill effects, guild members shouting commands, players rushing objectives, and everyone trying to prove their school was the strongest. Winning a school war wasn't just about rewards, it was about bragging rights, the kind that lasted until the next battle. Another reason Ran Online became so beloved was its memorable class system. Players could choose archetypes inspired by school life. Brawlers dominated close combat, swordsmen wielded powerful melee attacks, archers struck from a distance, shamans controlled powerful magic. Each class had its own strengths and playstyle, and everyone seemed to have an opinion about which build was overpowered. Entire friendships were built around discussing stat allocations, equipment choices, and PvP strategies. For many players, theory crafting became almost as fun as actually playing. Perhaps the most important part of Ran Online's legacy wasn't the gameplay, it was the community. The game arrived during a time when online gaming felt more personal. Players recognized each other's names. Guild rivalries lasted for years. People spent hours chatting even when they weren't actively hunting monsters. Many friendships crossed over into real life. Guild meetups became common. Some players met lifelong friends through this game. And yes, some even found romance. For a generation of Filipino gamers, Ran Online became more than a virtual world. It became a place where people connected. Even after official versions began to fade, Ran Online refused to disappear. Private servers emerged everywhere. Each one promised unique features, faster leveling, custom content, or nostalgic experiences. Former players kept returning year after year, not necessarily because the graphics were cutting edge, not because the gameplay was perfect, but because Ran Online represented a specific moment in their lives. A time when staying up late to grind levels felt exciting, when online friends became real friends, and when every school war felt like the biggest event of the week. Today, gaming has evolved dramatically. We have massive open worlds, esports tournaments, cloud gaming, and graphics that look almost photorealistic. Yet despite all that progress, many Filipino gamers still look back fondly on Ran Online. Because nostalgia isn't just about the game itself, it's about the memories attached to it. The classmates who became guildmates, the computer shops that felt like second homes, the excitement of logging in after school, the thrill of seeing your character become stronger, and the friendships that survived long after the servers went quiet. Ran Online may never return to the heights it once reached in the Philippines, but its legacy remains undeniable. It was one of the MMORPGs that helped shape an entire generation of Filipino gamers. A game where schools became battlefields, where rivalries became legends, and where countless players created moments they'll never forget. Because for many of us, Ran Online wasn't just a game we played, it was a chapter of our lives. And no matter how much gaming changes, those memories will always remain. Thanks for watching, and if you ever fought for Mystic Peak, Sacred Gate, or Phoenix, let us know which school you represented, and share your favorite Ran Online memory in the comments below. For more content like this and other updates down the line, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.